right. Hello. Thank
Hey.
you for meeting with me today for your pre-conference.
No problem.
We're just going to go over a little bit about what your lesson will be today, and we'll
Okay.
go over some of the specifics, and then that'll be
Okay.
it.
Okay.
So tell me, what is your lesson going to be about today?
Today's lesson is going to be about identifying the main idea of a text or a written passage. I hope by the end of class that all the students will be able to not only identify and explain what a main idea is, but also be able to clearly identify and write out what the main idea is of any written passage or text.
Okay. So as you see the lesson unfolding, what will the students be doing?
Well, hopefully they're going to be engaged and participating actively. I hope that they're going to be using their prior knowledge and relaying personal experiences and being able to utilize that to reflect and be able to present main ideas of their own experiences. Hopefully they'll be able to be motivated enough to be able to give and receive positive feedback to one another.
Good. All right. So as you envision this lesson, what do you see yourself doing to produce these outcomes?
Well, hopefully I'll be using a variety of instructional and motivational strategies, including just using hand signals, which I do quite a bit of, nonverbal communication, as well as providing them, plenty of interaction opportunities and questions to help guide them and direct them to where they need to be.
Awesome. So give me the breakdown of the lesson. What will happen first, next, in the middle, last?
Okay.
Tell me about that.
Well, basically when they first come in, I'll be taking roll and kind of getting everything together, and at that point in time they'll be doing their do now assignment. What I'm going to have them do is reflect upon and write about the last movie that they saw. They'll be able to tell what it's about, whether or not they liked it, and then write kind of 4 to 6 sentence paragraph about the movie to kind of be able to share. We'll move on to a PowerPoint presentation at that point in time. It's going to be very engaging and interactive for the students. After that, we'll go over a scenario. Going between classes, you're going to talk to the latest movie with your friends, but you don't have 2 hours to discuss the entire movie. You just have a few minutes. So hopefully using that scenario to help them understand those few sentences you're going about the movie, that's the main idea. It's the heart of the matter, which is your main part, and the thesis, the main thought, the topic, is the idea. So giving that scenario will help them understand kind of what that means. And then throughout the lesson, I'll give directed instruction and then do some practices with them and then help them move on to doing their own practicing and looking at different scenarios of main ideas. And then lastly, we'll tie back into the Go Now assignment, and they'll be able to relay what the main idea of their movie was.
Sounds like a good lesson so far. I'm intrigued. Tell me about the breakdown of how long each of those parts will last.
Well, the Go Now usually takes about 5 minutes, which should be plenty of time for them to be able to do that. The presentation for the PowerPoint is about 25 minutes. Of course, it's going to be interactive for them, and they'll be participating in that. It's not just going to be here's PowerPoint. Then there'll be about 10 minutes of them doing the guided practice amongst themselves and then in small groups. And the last 10 minutes will just be closing up class with a summary of today's lesson and then assignments for homework.
Okay, good. So what do you see, what will you see, or what behaviors will your students be exhibiting to indicate that the lesson was successful?
Well, I think their ability to identify and explain the main idea, as well as being able to clearly express it in a written manner, as well as being able to make the difference between major and minor points.
Good. Do you have any hopes or concerns about this lesson?
Well, I do have a couple ESL students have a little bit of difficulty with language, so I'm hoping that I'll be able to reach them a little bit better. I have learned that the more I can engage them and keep them talking, the more confident they become, which I think will help them stay with the lesson plan as well as, work on their confidence.
Okay. So if I were the one to be observing this lesson, what are some things that you would want me to look for?
Well, I think key is seeing how well I'm doing with the ESL students, if I'm doing a good job of keeping them engaged, and also just look at my overall student participation to make sure that the techniques I'm using and my engagement is basically in alliance with the PD for instructional and class management strategies that are being that they're being employed correctly, basically.
Okay, good. Well, thank you for meeting with me. I know and can tell that this lesson is going to be engaging, and I can't wait to see the kids participating. And thank you.
No problem.
All right, great.
Thanks.